So this day two is our second part of the expansion framework. So if you remember, if you watch the replay from day one, I was really sharing with you the importance of getting real with yourself, of not falling into delusions, the story that the self-saboteur, right, our good old pal, the saboteur, tells us, really understanding that we have full, absolute control over what we create in this world, the amount of money we make, the type of clients we work with, the programs that we birth into the world, the creations we bring into the world is all up to us. We have control over that.
Let's get started.
One of the things I shared today, which actually is really important, I'm glad that the memory came in, is you would not have the gifts that you do if there weren't people that need those gifts. If there weren't people who are waiting for your gifts. So often what happens, pattern in the saboteur is, I'm going to do what I think I should be doing, or I'm going to put out offers that are safe, right? That safe. What even is safe? I don't know what safe is. You have a gift, whether you're a coach, a healer, or creative, you have a gift that is divinely given to you, right? You came in with this gift. This is my belief. It's firm, it's solid, that you would not have these gifts if there wasn't people that need them, that are waiting to be impacted by them, whether that's something creative, whether that is a coach, whether that is a creative, I think I said that, or a healer, a healing, whatever it is that is your zone. You wouldn't have that if there wasn't many people that need it, enough people aplenty that are enough to provide you with whatever level of success or lifestyle that you are desiring. Okay, there is this amount of people waiting for you, and what that takes is moving through anything and everything that is holding you back from being the person who is serving all those people. Okay, you can do this. Absolutely. So one of the stories I shared on the day two was a client that my private client, and we were working together for a while, and he was very accomplished in many areas. However, with his coaching practice, he had major resistance to it. Like, was really stopping himself from putting himself out there in the coaching business. And what is so critical for you to understand and know, and this is what day two is really about, to understand this process of it, is there's the symptom of the sabotage, which can be things like, let me read it. I have a list here. I went through this list. I'll go through it again quickly. Not doing the work that you really want to do, that's real and what lights you up. You feel on fire, whether it's helping a certain group, whether it's creating something, whether it's some piece of writing, some spiritual offering that you have, whatever it is, not doing it because you think either nobody's going to buy it, it's too out there, it's too weird, you're afraid of judgment, you're afraid of looking silly, you're afraid of if no one buys it, so you just do the safe thing, even though the safe thing you're not enjoying the clients that you're working with. Not that they're the bad people, but they're not your dream people over here because you're playing it safe. This is a symptom of the sabotage. It's not actually the root of the sabotage. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is the root. You understanding what the root is, because when you understand what the root of the actual sabotage is, and you forget about trying to treat the symptom. So the symptom, like my client was experiencing major procrastination. I'm gonna pause it 1 second and I'm just gonna fix the camera so it's not I think it was a little, there was something on the camera and it was trying to focus. So I hope that this is clear for you. So instead of treating the procrastination, because he was really procrastinating, he was resisting it, and there was things he was trying to do with productivity apps and stuff like that. And I know self-sabotage very well. I've worked with so many clients over the years and I've experienced my own that it's just very clear to me. It's when someone's in it and when they are really ready to take action on the root problem, like really get to the core so we can move forward. And when they may still be in this part, the awareness stage, still figuring it out. There's a lot of shame that can come with sabotage. And what the shame does is it creates an isolation, a feeling of isolation, and a feeling of, even to yourself, that you don't want to admit certain things. And when you can get to a place where you're no longer villainizing the saboteur, so you're no longer villainizing or judging yourself or calling yourself, being critical of yourself because maybe you are doing these things that are holding yourself back, like the symptoms, not doing the work that's really real for you, or making things so much harder than they need to be, overcomplicating it. This is a huge one for type A's, huge one. This was one of mine. This is one of mine that I've had to work through over the years. Saying no to opportunities because you think you're not ready, right? This is another big one where people can go into the shame tunnel and feel really bad about themselves because they said no to something that they really wanted to do, but they didn't feel ready. But really what it was, they felt scared. And their inner saboteur was coming in, projecting and making all these stories up of how bad it's going to be and all these horrible things that might happen. When we say, you know what, I'm not going to judge myself anymore. I'm not going to be mean to myself anymore. I'm going to get curious. I'm just going to get curious. What's going on? Why is this happening? Why is this happening with my saboteur? Because when you can get curious and you can see it from almost a third party stance, this is when you start taking your power back. And this was a huge epiphany for my private client when he was able to step back and stop judging himself for not doing certain things. Because his story was, he was very accomplished, right? He had a lot of accomplishments, but what he was doing was, in a sense, proving himself through these accomplishments, right? Proving his self-worth, trying to, right? None of these things actually create self-worth, but in our human nature, we can, fall into the story that they do. And so when he wasn't able to achieve in the coaching area, which was very meaningful to him, which was very special to him, which was really his purpose, which is why he was having so many challenges with it, because it was so deep and meaningful for him. It triggered all that resistance. He really went into a spiral up, deeper into the spiral of, I'm not good enough, right? Why do I have all these problems, all this stuff? He's just going down. And when he was finally able to see that, oh, this is just a self-sabotaging pattern that I am doing because I'm actually trying to keep myself safe, because that's all the job of the saboteur is doing, is trying to keep you safe. That's all it's doing. He was able to take a step back, release the shame, release the blame. Through the work that we did together, he was able to heal that part of him that felt that he couldn't fail, which is one of the reasons why he didn't even want to start the coaching practice, because he was terrified of failure because of past trauma. And I won't get too much into that, but we all have those stories. At the root, it's when we dig down and we see, why am I sabotaging? Why am I still sabotaging? We can typically, it's fear of safety. So something's going to happen. I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be taken advantage of. I'm not going to be able to say no. I'm going to be overworked. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be burnt out. I'm going to be made fun of, and nobody's going to want my stuff. I'm going to feel alone. I'm going to feel embarrassed. All these stories, right? When you're able to just see it as, if I have this pattern, it's because I'm meant to help people. It's meant to create depth within the work that I'm doing. I'm not going to have these patterns or these, the self-saboteur because for some random reason. I have it because I'm meant to move through it. You're meant to move through it to then be able to take that wisdom and knowledge and impact your clients and impact the people that you're meant to impact that much more powerfully. Because how on earth can you be the most understanding, compassionate, in-depth, purposeful coach, healer, or creative when you don't have that polar, when you don't have that polar to go to use as your example of what it takes, what's the word I'm looking for? The nuances of being able to move from a place that feels like here to here, right? This is one of my problems that I have with a lot of people that were teaching around self-sabotage that I found when I was going through it, is they completely blow over the nuances. And they teach from a very strategic, intellectual, what makes sense. And it's very dismissive. And it doesn't actually allow the person to get to the core. It's very dismissive. So anyways, back to what I was saying with my client who is able to get to that root from a place of curiosity, not judgment, not shame, not blame, just curiosity. We're able to heal it and move forward that much faster. And he was able to work these pens. Let me tell you, these pens are new, by the way, and they're not doing the job very well, but they'll do for now. So anyways, when he was able to work with, let's say that this is my client, joining hands with the saboteur together, and this is what we call integration. So we're not shaming, we're not blaming, we're not being critical and negative. We're joining together with our saboteur. We're walking hand in our journey together, being in a state of curiosity and asking our saboteur, if I feel like saying no to an opportunity, why? Getting curious. Why is that? Why do I feel like I need to say no? Okay, when you fully can grasp this concept of integration with the saboteur, of knowing that it is simply trying to keep you safe in its safety zone. It's not there because you are somehow defective or a bad person or whatever other story. Or if you don't go down that route, because that's often the self-critical route, which a lot of highly sensitive people, at least that I've worked with, can go down that real self-critical route. Sometimes you go into the completely opposite way, and you can go into the blame way. So this way, the real critical way is often the shame way. The other way, it can be the blame way, where you're blaming everything and everyone out there for the issues. Now, I don't think that's you, because a person that's in that pattern, they're not going to be in this. They're not going to be in an event around self-sabotage, because they're not taking ownership. They're not taking accountability. Again, when I say accountability, it's not to blame. It's just to have the awareness that, oh, I have the power. When I look at it from an empowered stance of, I'm just getting curious. Why am I feeling like I can't put myself out there, or I'm putting myself out there, but I'm doing a bunch of stuff that really isn't the work that I want to be doing. Or I'm working with clients who they're great, but they're not really my soul clients. So clients that I'm like just feeling like these are the clients that I need to work with. Or maybe let me look at the one of the couple of last ones. So the undercharging. Maybe I'm in a pattern of undercharging for my work. So what's happening is I'm starting to resent it because I'm a coach, I'm a healer, a creative, I'm a natural giver, right? I give, I overgive, I over deliver, which is great, but you need to be compensated for that, or else you're going to build resentment, not only for the people that you're working with, but for the work that you're doing. And then this is spiral. It's a spiral, right? So seeing yourself as, I have the power to release these patterns. The only reason I have them in the first place, I believe we come in with the soul desire to move through it. Now that can happen very quickly, or it can happen over a period of time. Often, from what I've seen over the last 10 years of working with clients, it can be a long process. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be a long process when you understand the system, which is why I'm so passionate about this system. Because once you grasp the system and you grasp the framework, which we're going to be going over these next days, it makes sense and it clicks. And it's really about going through the system. And then you may need to go back and touch points with certain points to maintain the results that you're getting, to maintain where you're going. But you have it, and that's it. And I'm going to be sharing with you, it's either going to be tomorrow, it's going to be on day 4, the real sticky part that a lot of people get stuck in. And this part of the framework took me a long time to really get in, to really understand how it fits in to the overall framework. Okay. And I know I'm super vague right now because you're like, okay, all you said was framework a bunch of times, but it'll make sense when you get the whole system. But this is what today is. So today we're actually getting to the root. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up because I said 15 minutes and I think it's been over 15 minutes. But we need to get to the root. Jesus. I don't know what. If anyone has some suggestions on how to get these pens to work better, we're going to get to the root. Because once you get to the root, you understand exactly what your saboteur is keeping you safe from. I'm going to be giving you a meditation. This meditation, when I did this meditation, I shared this earlier on our call, profound information came through. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to have that profound experience the first time. You might. It is not unheard of that people that do it don't have it, but you may not. And that's why I'm telling you, keep doing it. Do it another time. Take a day off. Do it another time. Take a couple of days off. Do it in a couple of days. Do it next week. But I don't want to say guarantee because I don't know. Obviously, that's a little out of integrity because I don't know everybody that's doing it enough. But for the majority, I would say every private client that has done this meditation has gotten information that has been extremely powerful for their journey. Okay. When I did it, my saboteur was able to tell me exactly why I was holding myself back. What was the root, right? This is what we need to get to, the core reason, because of everything else is a symptom. Okay, so this is the understanding of today is we have symptoms. So symptoms are saying no to opportunities, procrastinating, overthinking, overanalyzing, holding ourselves back from certain offers, playing it safe, undercharging, or maybe you're not undercharging, but you're overworking, you're over giving to the point of exhaustion, and that doesn't actually benefit anyone, including your clients. Okay. So these are all symptoms that the saboteur will do will keep feeding into to keep you at a certain level, never going above this level. Because if you didn't have all those symptoms, you would be up here, you'd be expansion city. And this is really important to know, because this is why people get stuck in these loops, and they're in another business program, or they're even in a productivity, they're getting productivity books or productivity apps, or they are, what is this thing that I need, or the manifesting thing. Again, these things are fabulous, but if you got something going on here, like a fear, this is a really common one, a fear of judgment, right? A fear of ridicule, which really, when we even go a layer below that, what that is a fear of being outed of the pack, right? Gone from the pack, abandoned, rejected. And you will, like consciously, we're like, oh, I want this. I want to move forward. I have all these things on my vision board. I have all these desires. But if that root of you, right, that core is, but if we do this, we might be judged, and then we're out. We're going to get abandoned. And that root hasn't been healed. Saboteurs, it's coming in and giving all these things. It's throwing you all these issues, all these challenges, right? You're like, oh, I got to get overwhelmed. I got all these things to do. I got to fix my clients. I got to fix this. I got to do my productivity is a mess. This is where we go. And as a byproduct, okay, this is golden. If you have one thing from this, I want you to remember this. As a byproduct of healing this root, understanding what it is, healing it, everything else starts to fix itself. Okay? Everything else starts to fix itself, because now you feel safe to say no when you want to say no, to say yes when you want to say yes, to put out the offers that excite you, even if nobody joins. You're still moving in the direction. You're still expressing yourself fully. You're still going for what you want. If you're someone who's really driven by financial, you want to hit those 30 to 40K months minimum, right? You're doing actions that are aligned with, that are going to get you those results. If you are someone who's driven by really making an impact and serving, then you are putting yourselves out there no matter what, no matter rejection, no's, whatever. You keep doing it because you're no longer, this isn't here anymore. And you're like, whatever. This is the sweet spot where I'm not saying that you're never going to have anything, like you're just like fearless to the point of you're just like running into cars and stuff. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying that, but you will get to a point when you go through the system and you're consistent and you're committed to it, where all this energy that was going into this and holding yourself back and trying to figure things out and trying to make things work and trying to do this, and it's just trying, it's so hard and all this stuff. When all that is done, because your saboteur is no longer on overdrive, you're now friends with the saboteur, okay? You guys are buddies. All that energy is going into your creations. It's going into you expanding. It's going into you creating more money, more amazing client experiences, more fantastic creation. Hello, Limitless. So I'm going to wrap up day 2. I was in the middle of doing the day 2 replay, and we had a complete blackout in the entire neighborhood. So everything shut down. So I'm going to take that as a sign to wrap it up, because I went way over the 15 minutes. And I'm going to include the meditation download for you. So for your homework for day 2 is doing the meditation. If you feel it resonates, I would encourage you to understand and gain clarity around the root issue, the root reason, I lost my pen, I'm not even going to look for it. The root reason of why you are sabotaging. Okay, this is for day 2. We're still in the awareness. And I think what got cut off on the other one was I was talking about my own experience. I'll just take 30 seconds to tell you. It was profound for me because I was able to learn exactly why I was sabotaging, right? That my saboteur came through and was able to explain it to me very clearly. And I was also able to see, I'm very visual, so I was able to see my inner saboteur, and they were exhausted. They were so tired from trying to make it happen, trying to do all the right things, trying to put all the pieces together and bring to life all this stuff, just trying and working and efforting and all these resistance things to make it not work. And it was just exhausting to even see my saboteur. And in that moment, I had so much compassion and love for that part of me that I could see was doing its damnedest to keep me safe. And part of me in that moment realized that it's up to me to make my saboteur feel safe so it no longer has to exhaust itself. And in that moment, we became teammates. And I no longer villainized my saboteur or any of the patterns that I've been in. The shame started to disintegrate away because I saw it in a whole new light and gave it a whole new meaning. That it didn't mean I was somehow defective, a bad person, not altogether, whatever. It was just a part of me that was going through something that was going to so deepen the work that I was going to bring into the world once I was able to move through it. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Day 2. Hope you enjoy it. I know it's choppy. It's all over the place. I'm going to put the link to the recording, whether you're watching this, if you're watching this in the Facebook group, the link's going to be in the Facebook group. If you're clicking on a link and you're watching through email, the meditation is going to be in your email. Okay. And we will meet for day 3, which you do not want to miss, because day 3, I'm going to be teaching like a framework within the framework. And this framework within the framework is something that I've been teaching clients for over 10 years. It's something that one of my first coaches taught me, and it is life changing. It is completely, if you take one, I know I say this a lot, I'm like, if you take one thing, this is it. But they're all important. But this one is really significant if you want to make long-lasting, transformational, rapid changes. This is the one that you're going to want to make sure that you are part of.